Hi, Pharmacist Frank. I've got an overview for you today of how to do the saliva test. That's filling the saliva test tubes and filling out the paperwork. Everything is already in this booklet, and you have to read it over thoroughly. Otherwise, you may not understand all of it. But I'm just going to give you the higher points and some tips on how to make it a little easier for you today. Okay, you have inside the bag or inside the styrofoam box, you have 4 test tubes. Each of those test tubes, when you fill them, will be 3/4 full, and that includes the bubbles, so the bubbles are part of it. That holds about 2.5 teaspoons full. Doesn't sound like very much, but sometimes it can be a trial. And I'll give you some tips on how to make that a little easier. Well, 3/4 full, and each of the test tubes are color coded. So they have a different color for each part of the day. And that code is on the other side of the box, on the other side of the bag. So you're going to start with the first one in the morning. Is going to be a pink test tube. Also in the box or in the bag is some straws, and you use those straws if you want to transfer the saliva from your mouth into the test tube. It does make it quite a bit easier, so I suggest you use them. Only use one straw, and then after you've used that straw, throw it away. We don't want you to use the same straw from multiple samples. Okay? Let's start with the first sample. You're going to wake up in the morning, and your hormones are highest 30 minutes after you arise. And we want to do that test exactly 30 minutes, so you may want to set a timer. You can't lay in bed and wait the 30 minutes. You do have to get up and move around. So you're going to wake up, move around, and you cannot eat, drink, or brush your teeth before that first test. Move around, and then after 20 minutes, you want to put some water in your mouth and swish it around, just like you would a mouthwash. And then expectorate or spit that out. You can't swallow it. No cheating. You can't swallow it. And then you're going to wait another 10 minutes or until your timer goes off, and then you're going to start your sample. Now, you're going to have a dry mouth situation, so a little bit of tips to make it easier. The day before you do the test, drink some extra water. Makes sense, right? Only you'd say, well, I wouldn't have that the next day. Yes, you will. You'll retain some of that water. So drink an extra 2 bottles of water during the day, unless you're one of these people that already drink a gallon. Don't do it. Also use the aroma of a food or a beverage to stimulate salivation. If someone in the household brews coffee, let them go ahead and brew the coffee, and the aroma of the coffee will subconsciously stimulate salivation. Now, you can also use more pungent or more potent stimulators, such as maybe open a jar of dill pickles from the refrigerator and get a good aroma or smell of that. That will definitely stimulate it if it doesn't make you sick. Okay? Lemons, grapefruits, and oranges are also very powerful at that. Now, that morning rinsing, in case you're curious, is to stimulate the saliva pump and also remove any food particles that might still be in the mouth. Once you get the test tube 3/4 full, then you're going to take and cap it up. It's a little bit strange for a cap, and it goes on very tightly. So you're going to take a little extra pressure to close it. And the 3/4 mark It's not really on here. Yeah, I guess they have added it. It looks like it's almost there. 3/4. Don't stress over it. Get it estimated at 3/4. Once you've closed this up, then you'll want to take and write the time that you completed the sample on the bag. Put this back in the bag, and then put the whole thing in the freezer until your next sample is taken. That next sample is approximately lunchtime. Now, if you're one of these people that get up to go to work at 5 a.m., 6 a.m., lunchtime is not noon. It's more like 10 o'clock. So you want to do it 3 to 4 hours later. You're going to follow the same procedure, only you're not going to eat or drink for the first half hour after you're up. You're not going to eat or drink anything for that first hour before the sample. You're actually going to fast food and water. You're going to rinse your mouth just like you did before, spit it out. Wait 10 minutes and then begin to do your sample. And obviously as you go through the day you're more hydrated, so the sample gets a little easier to get into that test tube. When you reach the 3/4 mark, cap it up. Write the time down on the bag that you finished it, and then put it inside the freezer again. Your third one will be supper time, and that can be almost a regular supper time. So, no eating or drinking an hour before. Rinse your mouth, wait 10 minutes, put it in the freezer after you're done, and write the time down. The last one is right before you go to bed. They've changed that protocol, and now it's right before, not just any time before bedtime. So when you're ready to go to bed, 9, 10 o'clock, whatever time it is, hopefully before midnight, you're going to take and fast for that hour, no food or water, rinse your mouth, wait 10 minutes, and then you're going to take and cap that up, write the time down, and you're all finished for the day. That whole bag goes back in the freezer, and then you're also going to take out the little freezer pack that's inside that styrofoam box. Obviously, we want this frozen as well as this. So put them both in the freezer and leave them until the day of shipping. When you go to ship them, you're going to make sure that you take the times off of here and put it on your requisition sheet. There's a spot for the date and the times to fill in. There's also a place to put shipping date, so fill that out too. Everything goes back into the styrofoam box that's freezable. The paperwork goes inside the cardboard box. And then each of these items go inside the FedEx label or the FedEx bag. Inside that FedEx bag, and then you're going to put a label on the outside which has your return address and the billable stamp, they call it. And then there's an 800 number you can call to get FedEx to come and pick it up. Do not call them on a Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. They won't go anywhere and they'll charge you for it. Any other day, you can go ahead and ship. The 800 number is also inside this blue booklet on the last page. That's it. That's simple. Once it's gone in FedEx, it'll be somewhere between 11 to 14 days. I will get the results, and then I will email a copy to you. When you get that email, you'll have a phone number in it. You can call me, and we will discuss your results and our strategy that will send to the doctor a recommendation for prescriptions. If you have any question in the meantime, you can call 636-362-4638, and that's my phone number. All right? I think that pretty much does it. Happy spitting!